Hi everyone, it's me again, and today I decided there are all these platforms out there like Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn, and people have very low tolerance or patience, should I say, to read a long story or a long thought process on these platforms. So why not upload some videos once in a while when the thoughts come to mind and share it with friends who are on these platforms, and we can discuss, and some people can listen or respond. So today this is my first video that I decided to upload on some of these platforms. And what I wanted to talk about today was that the ideas of right and wrong that we as human beings create, from the minute that we come to this world, we feel, or we have this sensation of, from the minute that the cord is cut, we have this sensation of, or feeling of, lack and separation. So this seed of lack is instilled in us, within us, from very moment that we enter this realm. And the sensation of lack, the feeling of lack, not enough, we're not worthy enough, or we're not deserving enough, we're not loved enough, creates this need to fill this lack. And sometimes it can manifest itself into greed, and greed is not just for money. People sometimes think that, when you talk about greed, you're talking about greed for money or power, but money and power is just part of it. Greed could be for love, for, spirituality even. So to feed, to compensate, we develop this behavior that feeds our behaviors that feed our greed, for the lack, to compensate for the lack. And sometimes we, again, to feed the greed, we become abusive, we become manipulative, we create these fixed ideas of right and wrong, and then we use different means to justify our ideas of right and wrong, like religion, like culture, like tradition, like the way that our ancestors have taught us things. And we behave in ways to justify all of these. We behave in ways that are sometimes non or uncompassionate, if that's a word, or intolerable ways towards others. And then what happens is, again, sometimes, and I'm not talking about everybody on this planet, but majority of us, when we are manipulated, deceived, beaten up, or abused or bullied, we develop ways to reciprocate or replicate that behavior. Because why? Because we want to survive. We want to take revenge. And that's how we stop thriving. We start surviving. And a good friend of mine, Garland, told me once, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna see this video, we as human beings are co-creators. We need to thrive instead of survive. So that's what happens, I think. We start surviving. We are constantly on that survival mode, because if I don't, reciprocate or replicate that behavior that was done to me, then I'm going to be crushed. And myself, I'm 52 years old. I will be 52 soon. And I've gone through quite a lot of, I've been subject to quite a lot of ways to allow myself to be abused and beaten up, and not physically, but emotionally. And sometimes people tell me, you're too open, you're too soft, you're too naive. And I think yeah, that might be right. You know, it is possible that I am all of those things. But let's put me aside. There are a group of people that feel that way. They feel like I'm too open, I'm too soft, I have no boundaries, and people constantly are, you know, beating me up or abusing me or deceiving me. And then you get to a point that you're almost passing that threshold. And if you think about all of those people who are who commit suicides or develop, you know, addictive behaviors, you know, that especially suicide, there's a very fine line. And people who are open and naive and sensitive, according to others, you get pushed very, very, very far to that edge of that line, and it only takes a second to cross that line. It only takes a second. It's not hard at all. I've been there myself, so I know how easy it is to reach there. But then you stand there and you think, do I want to cross that line, or do I want to step back and fight and get myself out of this situation that I'm at, or I'm in? But the whole thing is, we as human beings, this human race that comes to this realm, we experience all of it. You know, you can't tell me that people like the abusers and the bullies have not experienced being abused or bullied themselves. They probably have. It's just, you know, how we come out of it and what that experience takes us, what level it takes us. That's an individual a journey, I guess. So what I want to say is, no matter how hard life can be, no matter how many times you are broken open, defragmented, beaten up by life's experiences, we all have a light inside of us. And I'm not saying that life should be all love and light and peachy and fuzzy and balloons and pink elephants and all that stuff. No, we go through, you know, the dark night of the soul, and we have, all of us have experienced that. But then the thing is, no matter how many times we experience this pain and agony of life's hard experiences, we can hold our light. We cannot let those experiences dim our light. And it's up to those of us who pull through to be there for the ones that we know that are struggling. If all of us take a little bit of time from our busy days and busy schedules and just, you know, lend a hand, hold the light for the ones that are struggling with the darkness, with the dark night of the soul, maybe, and I might be wrong, I don't know, but maybe we can help some of those people pull themselves out and, you know, replicate that kind of behavior, replicate holding the light. And you know, Rumi says, out beyond the ideas of right doing and wrongdoing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. So let's meet each other in that field. Let's teach our children, the future, to meet each other on that field without judgment And let's tell our children that you are enough, you are loved enough, and you're perfect enough as you are, instead of teaching them to be competitive and get the upper hand and be the best at what they want to be. Why, teach them compassion. Teach them, meditation. Teach them to, it's okay if the kid that is in school and sitting next to you doesn't look like you, or doesn't have the same clothes as you, or doesn't have as much, her parents or his parents are not rich enough, or have status, enough. This is all okay. And I remember my father used to say, I as a parent and you as a child, you are like a plant. What I have to do is just nourish you, just to water you and see you, grow. Sometimes I need to, prune you, or just get rid of some of the branches that may hinder your growth, but in a very gentle way. And I think that was profound. Sometimes I think that if most of us, I'm not a parent, but I look at some parents, and I look at some kids that are just, they have so much from a very, very young age. They have so much love and compassion for every single being on this planet that it just blows my mind. So let's make that viral. And that's all I have to say for today. That was my ramble for today. Thank you for listening, and I'm open to criticism or positive feedbacks, whatever you like. Just bring it on.